Welcome in, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
All right, enough of that. Anyway, so we did an earlier video on ranking list of Christmas movies. More of tier list of must see, good, okay, never seen. We did that. So now this is pivoting more towards Holly and discussing what favorite Christmas movies you like and what your top 10.
It doesn't have to be me, but I made Google Slides to go with my top 10 movies and the clips. My favorite clip from the movie. And I'll tell you why when we get to it.
Sorry, I'm back again. Anyway,
you want to go
Mr. Tom joins us again. Thank you so much. So we're gonna go ahead and present, and we did these in backward order. So obviously, a good countdown starts at 10. It doesn't start at 1, but it starts at 10. So, adding to the stage, your first Christmas movie is
Planes. No.
Planes.
The 10th.
It's 10th, yes.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, and it's when what's his name? John Candy.
John Candy
and Steve Martin, and they have burnt the car down, and they get pulled over, and the cop says, "I don't think your vehicle's safe to drive right now," and they insist that it is. Then yeah, it's just my favorite right there. Like everything goes bad in that movie.
So I would say start with the premise of the movie and then go to your favorite scene. So you pick this movie obviously based on...
It's a comedy.
It starts off the holiday season, right? In theory for us, like it's one of the first ones we usually watch during Thanksgiving.
It's close to Christmas. It's a Thanksgiving movie.
But it's good. It's
a funny one.
And I think it's kind of got a sad ending, but a good ending in retrospect.
Overall,
but,
yeah.
I mean, it starts off the hotel. I mean, so basically it starts off the plane didn't work. He's sitting between John Candy and this other guy, and they're snoring and making all sorts of noises. The train, they have to hop on that. I mean, it's got pretty much planes, trains, and automobiles, but everything goes wrong. And I think one of the best parts about it is when he loses his rental car agreement and he goes to the lady behind the counter and she's just chitter-chattering away. And then he goes in this expletive outrage. And
it's
she's
definitely got language. Don't watch this around kids.
And she goes, "Oh, what happened to your rental car agreement?" "Well, I lost it." "Well, I guess you're..." And yeah, I think it's a good movie. So we're going into your 9th movie for Christmas, and that is A Miracle on 34th Street. Tell me why this movie is important to you, and then your favorite scene.
Oh, I'm being interviewed. Okay. It is just a special Christmas movie. I like it because it's the innocence of a child believing in Santa, and then the magic that comes along through the story. And I chose the house scene because the girl asked for the house to Santa, and in the end they get the house, and it's just a magical movie that I always love watching. And I like the older version. They actually have the older version in color too.
Yeah. So I think the thing I like about this movie, it's one of the first movies that the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade was actually kind of
showcased.
Yeah, showcased in the movie. And to me, that's also... So Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, it's kind of funny, the 9th and 10th on your list, they kind of do get you into the holiday season. Of course, here in America, we have Thanksgiving. So that's kind of the kickoff of the holiday season.
And we've seen both of them.
Yeah,
far.
well, and that's the thing too. So it's almost our first two. I think we usually watch during Thanksgiving, and of course we have the American football that goes on during that time, and that's always a great time. And the
Yep.
Cowboys and the Lions.
Can we go to the next one?
The next movie, Christmas in Vale. So this is a Hallmark movie. A lot of people don't watch Hallmark movies, but some people do. So explain to me why you like this movie so much.
I like this movie because I want to visit Colorado, Vail, Colorado. It just seems like everything that you see there is what?
You're
Oh.
good. Just keep on. You're good.
I was gonna say.
So the premise of the movie, right?
It just seems like a fun place to go visit, but
Yeah.
not live.
It's expensive.
Visit.
It's a very expensive place. People do a lot of skiing there. It's got a little German theme to it. The big thing about this movie is this girl basically inherits land,
A house.
from her I think her dead grandfather, and she
Her uncle.
works in California or something. You know, typical Hallmark. She's got an amazing job, and then she has to leave her lucrative job to take this humble job in Colorado and helping people
And the
out.
man she falls in love with is the one who does the work in the house and is also a big part of the town.
Yeah.
So
It's a
good one.
I mean, I'm not a big Hallmark movie fan because the problem I see with Hallmark movies is they all kind of have the same premise: the damsel in distress, the man that's doesn't act like any man that ever existed on the face of the earth. It's
I
kind
really
of
don't care about like what happens in it. I just like the
see,
scenery.
you like it mostly for the scenery aspect of it,
Yeah.
which I do understand. Some people find movies like for me, one of my Christmas movies I used to watch when I was a kid was Where Eagles Dare. And it's basically Clint
Never seen
Eastwood.
it.
It's Clint Eastwood and Richard Burton, and they're commandos, and they go into a Nazi German castle, and basically go. But it takes place in like winter, and it's snow. It just to me that symbolized Christmas for me as a kid also because it was just kind of like snow, winter. But anyway, moving on to number 7, It's a Wonderful Life.
I love this scene right here because I think he wakes up.
The movie first, then the scene.
Oh, sorry. It's a Wonderful Life. Why? I like it because it still shows the magic of Christmas and what the whole meaning of Christmas is about. It's not about presents. It's not about getting things. It's about showing others how much you love them and appreciate them.
I can take out these presents behind me back now, I guess.
But it's like showing the appreciation you have for your family.
Yep. And how the world would be different if you weren't born.
Yeah.
You know, how you have an impact on everybody you meet, right? I think that's the lesson of that movie. Frank Capra, without really maybe knowing, but it shows, you know, everybody you meet in life, there's a reason for that. Good, bad, and different. So I think that's why it resonates. And you could kind of, even though it's black and white, there is a color version, I think, of it as well. But either way, like, because some people don't like black and white movies, whatever. But it resonates through generation. Even though times change and the method of technology and everything changes, we still have the same wants, needs, and desires that they had back then. That doesn't change. But anyway, moving on to the next one.
Yeah.
Four Christmases.
Geez.
So we talked about Four Christmases in the previous one. So why do you like this movie?
It's just a shit show.
Yeah.
Complete shit show. There's like his mom and dad, what's his name? Vince Vaughn?
Vince Vaughn's mom
Vince Vaughn's mom and dad have separated. And so have, what's her name?
Reese Witherspoon.
Reese Witherspoon's parents split. So it's 4 different Christmases. And it's just funny. It's just a funny movie. I chose this scene because that's a pregnancy stick in that girl's mouth. And I put Ashley's hair in just like hers one time. And Spencer said, "You look just like the girl in 4 Christmases."
Yeah, she had no idea for the longest time.
She had no idea, but we would laugh.
I mean, the thing about that scene, though, is, you know,
And
she
she
tells her
doesn't
it's a
know.
magic marker, so she ends up taking the marker, running away. We can't have markers in the house. Well, they're in this jump, and apparently she got picked on when she was younger in jumps. And long story short, she tells the kid that she did something on that thing and spits it out. But it's a great movie.
It's just hilarious.
It's another one of those kind of like.
But there's lots of clips in that movie I could have picked.
Yeah, I mean
Mistletoe.
the first
all of it.
one, you know, Orlando, Denver, and Dallas. When they wrestle with Vince Vaughn, and
And he says mistletoe.
she's like, "Your name's Orlando." Well, yeah, we were named after the cities we were conceived in. Well, my name's Brad. I changed it, you know. But it's a good movie. Then the other scene I like in it is the pastor scene where it's the church that looks like Joel Osteen's church, where everybody's like, "Yeah, let's go," and it's kind of funny. He does the Joseph act. I find that one funny too. And then of course,
Oh, and he has a little twist on it too.
yeah, and then the third house, his mom's house. You know, one of his best friends is now married to his mom, so it's all.
This is definitely a must see though, for sure.
Yeah. All right. Number 4, Elf. Talk about Elf in general.
I like Elf because, and like, I didn't like Elf in the beginning, like after I'd seen it the first time, but then I watched it again and I'm like, this is hilarious. Like when he eats spaghetti and he puts all the stuff in it because he likes sweets, and she says, "You really like sweets, don't you?" Yeah, it's hilarious. It's funny. And that's the scene too. It's not my favorite, but like it's definitely funnier if you watch it more, I think.
There's gimbals in there. There's a lot of so Jon Favreau did the movie, and there's a lot of, I think, montage to the original 1964 Rudolph, where like the snowman.
It starts off as that, right?
It's got the vibes of it. They kind of do a little reminiscent to it. And Jon Favreau makes really good movies too. So anyway, we'll move on to the next movie on your list, Home Alone.
Home Alone. I grew up watching that movie. Wait, what?
Oh, I did it backwards. Home Alone's number 5. I forgot to invert that one.
Well, I mean,
so we'll go back to Home Alone. Home Alone's number 5. Elf was number 4. Go to Home Alone and tell me about Home Alone.
Home Alone's is one of my favorites because of all the, I don't know, I guess, you know, when he's a child, he's funnier in movies. What's his name?
Macaulay Culkin.
Yes.
McAllister.
And he's just a cute little kid that you see in the movie, and it's funny. It gets funnier and funnier, but like when he sets up the traps, I think that's my favorite parts. And I think in this clip, he's getting ready to set up the traps and everything. He puts the little toys on the floor and they step on it, and I'm like, I've done that before and I know that hurts. And like all the things he does, you could probably die from.
For me, it's the pizza. I want a Little Nero's pizza. You know, it's so these 90s Christmas movies, and I'm talking more towards your Santa Claus, your Home Alones. Like this potentially is believable in 1990. In 2021, like this would have never happened. So that's why this movie
People still try to get your
well, no,
house,
but like
though.
so like if this is 2023, Kevin McAllister finds a way to, I mean, it'll be
turn his Ring camera on.
Well, yeah, I mean, and we're talking also about we got a new person. Hello, Randy. Well, thanks for joining us. Like 2023, this movie probably doesn't work because there's so many modern technology things that make it work. But because then, like, you got the one scene in there where they show up and the storm happens. Well, the phones are going to be out for 3 days because blah blah blah, and you know, it just works because of that era, I think.
Mm-hmm. It's a good one.
So yeah, let's the Santa Claus. I was just mentioning that one. So explain to me why you like the Santa Claus, why you made it number 3 on your list, and go for it.
Well, it's about a little boy and his dad. His parents have split, and it's probably my favorite because he still has the innocence in him, you know, to believe in Santa Claus, and it's real. Like it's real for him, and he sees it happens, and he goes to the North Pole, and it's just a cute story. I've always loved this one. They're going from house to house, this clip.
Mm-hmm.
And they're and he gets to see how Santa goes down the chimney, if there's no chimney,
Mm-hmm.
like, and then like if there's a tiny little chimney thing. And I don't know, I like this one, and I like all the Santa Clauses. Really.
What's funny about this one though is like Rudolph's not in this one. It's all the 6 reindeer. There's not a 7th reindeer.
I never noticed that until we saw it like lately.
So one of my favorite scenes in this movie also is the Denny scene for me when he burns the turkey initially and he goes to Denny's. And they're having the Christmas party there, and it's just all the dads that burnt the turkey, and it's like the stereotypical like dads can't cook, right? But it's such a good movie, and I think for me it's I think this scene's pretty good. Yes, and it's also one of those movies, and there's two more movies on this list that once you watch them, the phrases they just fall out of your mouth because you remember them.
Oh, well, another part of this is like as he's progressing to be Santa Claus, like he's getting fatter, and then like the girl in the park when she comes up to him and says that she wants a Barbie doll for Christmas.
That's the soccer game where they're out there at the football match. Sorry, Tom.
They're at the soccer game,
yeah. And that's when it's kind of funny because they're just lining up and you can see this progression. He tries to shave,
and then all the presents come to his house. Like there's so many scenes
well, not the presents, but the actual list comes to his house. You know, he tries to shave to get rid of the gray beard and it falls right back. The one is when he shows up and he's starting to really get the Santa Claus figure and he goes to work, and then they have the luncheon and the dad from Everybody Loves Raymond's in there and they order lunch. And he's ordering like everything fat on the face of the earth. We're talking candy, and he's just sitting here eating. Everybody's watching him, and then they bring up the tank, and he's like, "Oh, Santa in the tank. Well, you gotta have the reindeer." So he's having this little meltdown, and it's just a good movie. Definitely good for the kids to watch. Move on to your second movie, Christmas Story.
You're gonna watch Christmas Story.
Lee, thanks for joining us, brother.
So Christmas Story, I really never. I mean, growing up, I never really paid attention to it. But when I was in high school, I think we watched it in high school in my journalism class. And I was like, this is hilarious. I mean, I never just paid attention to the movie. And I love the movie now. You can't go a Christmas without watching it. The reason why is because it just reminds you of like, I don't know. It's not everybody's Christmas is like that. Like where dogs come into your house and all of that, or the heater, you know. But it's interesting. It's a good movie.
It's 1950s America for me. That's what it is. So it's like, you know, the dad, they don't have TV, so they've got a radio, and there's shows on the radio, and you hear about all this stuff. And like my dad, I mean, he's 70, I think, but either way, like he grew up kind of around that area. He was born in 55, so he kind of came on the back end around TV and stuff like that. But, you know, it's one of those deals where Christmas is still kind of like this low level thing of family, and it wasn't as commercialized. I think they still had people going out and buy us gifts. Like one of my favorite scenes is the Higby scenes in the beginning where they're sitting there looking in the window and all the toys they want. And you remember that as a kid. You get the Sears catalog, for example. The Sears catalog, you'd have it up there and you circle what you wanted on it. Mm-hmm. But this is a different version of it, right? And then the Ovaltine scene is was
it Gimbals?
No, it was Higby's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the Red Ryder BB gun. I remember I bought Ashley a Red Ryder BB gun when she was
has a
like,
pink one.
No, I swear the lady at Walmart was like, "Are you sure you want to do this?" I'm like, "Yeah, she's not gonna be taking it. Like, it's locked up. Like, it's a BB gun. Like." But I remember buying that for her. She never used it, like, ever. But that's okay. She really didn't even care. It was kind of a waste of money. But needless to say, it was a good movie.
But the clip here.
Yeah, go with this clip.
He's got the bunny suit on, and you look like a deranged Easter bunny.
Yeah.
It's my favorite scene.
His aunt sent him all sorts of stuff, and that was one of them.
The other scene I would put up there is where he's changing the tire, and he says, "Oh, fudge," and the mom wants to know where he's heard the words from, and the dad curses all the time, but he won't admit that his dad said it.
As much as
he says that his friend's dad said it or something.
So Flick gets the beating.
Yeah.
She calls Flick's mom, and Flick's mom proceeds to punish him.
And then they put the soap in his mouth.
Yep. Palmolive.
Yeah.
Great movie. It'll be a 24-hour marathon on TBS and TNT on
it'll be on in our house.
Yeah, we'll have it on
opening Christmas presents
and eating dinner. It'll be kind of on nonchalantly. And then the last one.
It's Christmas Vacation.
And so you have Christmas Vacation first. But I want to ask, before you talk about it, like for me, some years Christmas Story is my favorite. Some years Christmas Vacation is my favorite. This year Christmas Vacation has been my favorite. Is this the case where, like, if I asked you next year, it might change?
It might change, yes.
Okay.
It fluctuates.
Is that influenced by me or just?
Nah.
I don't know. But carry on. Tell me why you like this movie.
There's so many funny scenes where this one, he is putting the Christmas lights up on the house, and I guess he falls backwards, and then he kicks the tree and goes forwards, and then what is that thing called?
It's a gutter.
The ice from the gutter shoots to the neighbor's window, and they're wondering why the carpet's all wet.
And their stereo's broken.
I mean, there's so many scenes in this where he's stuck in the attic, and he can't get out of the attic because it's one of those pull downs, and he gets trapped up because the mother-in-law puts it back up. It's just hilarious. I love this movie.
Yeah, and it's funny. Like, so there's a YouTube. I want to say the movie was shot. So the actual movie location is in California. So like the movie's shot in Chicago in theory, but like you see the mountains. There's no mountains in Chicago. Like that was shot somewhere, I think, in Aspen. But different aspects of the movie, like it was shot during the summer. So a lot of that, and it kind of ruins it when you hear about what it's made of. But I think the same house that was used for Christmas Vacation was used for Lethal Weapon. So there's there's a lot in maybe it's Warner Brothers, whoever made that. I think it's Warner Brothers. A bunch of houses are utilized for different movies, and this one, I think it was the Carpetbagger, or I don't remember who it was, but he went and actually walked through. They're getting ready to demolish everything, but
there's so many scenes in this movie I could have put up there.
I mean, Cousin Eddie, like no one truly has a Cousin Eddie, but Cousin Eddie's excellent in this one. He's got the bib and the dickie on, and of course, they're drinking the eggnog, and I've got the same glass with the moose.
Of course, everyone remembers the rant that he says at the end about his boss. And then, of course, Eddie goes and gets him, brings him back. The big old bow around him. Didn't he have
I'm sorry, this is our family's first kidnapping.
It's hilarious.
I mean, it's a great movie. It's a little slapstick at times. The shopping is pretty funny. But needless to say, I mean, it's one of the movies you have to see during the holiday season. But that's your top 10 list. And, what?
Just quickly.
Quickly what?
What's your favorite?
Favorite what?
Movie.
It's probably this one or Christmas Story. I mean, it depends on the year, to be fair.
Yeah.
I mean, when I look at this list, like, all right, so you got Christmas Story.
Are there any others
Santa
that
Claus,
you would put in here?
Home Alone, Elf, Four Christmases, It's a Wonderful Life, Christmas in Vale, Miracle on 34th Street, and Planes, Train. I'm probably putting one of the Christmas carols in there, whether it's Reginald Owen
instead of
Alistair,
Christmas in Vale.
Probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a big Lacey Chabert fan. She's big in this house. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, your list is good. I mean, there's not much different. I mean, I'd probably and Lee, I recommend seeing that movie. It's an excellent movie. It's, I want to say 90 minutes. Jon Favreau made it.
It's not that long.
It's not long. It's Will Ferrell. There's a lot of stars in there. Zoe Deschanel. I can't probably pronounce her name wrong, but it's such a good movie. But it's worth seeing. It absolutely is.
My favorite scenes where he's eating spaghetti with all the sugar stuff in it.
Yeah.
With syrup.
Sorry. So.
Oh, and the burp scene.
Yeah, it's got a lot of I mean, it's.
He drinks the whole 2 liter of soda, and then he has this long burp that Spencer could probably do too.
No, I can't do that. No.
Maybe not that long.
I mean, that's probably, and I couldn't drink a whole 2 liter of soda in the time he does either.
You might throw up.
I probably don't think my doctor would like that. It's a lot of soda at one time. But needless to say, this has been fun. So the previous video we did was we ranked 60-some Christmas movies on must see, good, okay. And I promised you that we do this video, and sorry it took so long to get done with it. Been kind of busy with everything, but I am going to give a couple shout outs to a couple channels here before I roll out. Gooner Gathering, they do Arsenal stuff. I appear on there from time to time with Lee and Posh. Mr. Tom with Leeds, all things Leeds. I believe it's tomorrow at 9 p.m. Tom helps us out. Gary, myself, and him, and Sam Greenwood, and Tony and Alonzo on DWTT on Mondays and Saturdays. Mondays at 7:30 Eastern, 12:30 UK, and then 10 o'clock UK Eastern, and then I think 3 o'clock. It's a 3 o'clock window for the UK on Saturdays. And every once in a while, you'll see me on the Mr. Arsenal podcast with Ryan Fletcher. So those are the 3 channels you can find me on at times. Like I said, this is just something we did for fun. Normally, this channel does a lot of Arsenal stuff, a little bit of Denver Broncos, a little Clemson Tigers. It's kind of hard to really keep up with stuff and be really regular with it, but it's just really a channel to have fun. And sometimes Tom's internet works too. So the running joke with Tom is he still uses AOL discs. And on Monday when we were doing the Christmas show, his AOL minutes ran out, and then he had to pop a new disc in, but it worked, and we got it up and running and finished off the show. And but it's fun, and I don't really have anything else. Do you want to?
Thank you for joining us, Randy.
Yep, thank you, Randy. It's a new name. Appreciate you joining us. Lee, of course, the godfather of Gooner Gathering. And yeah, we got Fios and Fiber over here. But just remember, guys, have yourself a merry little Christmas. And tomorrow night,